you guys are familiar with the glass ceiling. Yeah. Obviously, everybody knows. Mm-hmm. It's this idea that women can't rise to certain levels or whatever. That I actually think
it's a lie.
I think it's a myth.
Yeah.
I think it's born of the greater male variability phenomenon. So what happens is, if there are more stupid men, nobody pays attention to them. If there are more exceptional men, that I'm talking relative to women, what happens is, if you've got 60 women who are average, 20 who are exceptional, 20 who are morons, but 30 exceptional men, this means that there is a imbalance in competition among the best women and the best men. If there are more men, then mathematically there will be more men in higher positions.
Yes.
Women then perceive that, feminists then perceive that as they can't get past the glass ceiling. They're being held down by patriarchy when it's actually just a component of like the skewing towards, like here's my point. There's something called the glass floor. And this is something that's never brought up by feminists because, like you said, they want CEO jobs with air conditioning, but they don't want to work as petroleum engineers.
Yes.
The glass floor is that, I don't even know if the glass floor is the appropriate way to describe it. It's where men typically have a harder time making money at younger ages and entering the workforce than women.
Yeah.
For example, entry-level positions in a mailroom, secretary jobs, not prestigious, but they might pay a low salary, typically go to women. Serving positions, service jobs in general, which require less skills, and they pay decently for young people, typically go to women.
Absolutely.
A good example is serving jobs. Restaurants are more likely to hire women to be servers than men, just on average, not always. And what happens? Women will make tips that will average maybe in some areas $15-20 an hour. A guy will be lucky to get a job as an apprentice in heating and air conditioning for a minimum wage. So when it comes to, there's a whole range of dynamics that happen here. The first thing I'll add is it's never talked about in terms of feminism because they don't want to talk about how it's actually easier for them to get started but harder to advance based on these issues.
I go further.
Further?
In my book, Why Women Deserve, which I literally
good plug here.
Yeah, I got a good plug here. I have a book called Why Women Deserve. I go into detail about this as to why, because feminists will go ahead and make this crap up about, the glass ceiling, the patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. No, what we have to do here is we have to deal with female choice. In general, women just choose to do jobs that are less laborious. They're more air conditioned, they're safer, etc. Women don't want to go into industry jobs. They don't want to go into science, technology, engineering, and math. Even though women dominate college attendance, they still choose to go into career fields that pay less. So the thing is this, women earn less in general because they choose to go into job fields that pay less. And here's the other funny part. We've seen it before. We brought a girl, I'll never forget this. She was in a plumbing school. She couldn't pass the test. One of the tests that they had was to was using a wrench to open up a valve or something like that. She couldn't do it. She failed, but they still passed her. Why? Because they needed women that bad in the workforce. Yeah. I came from law enforcement. We had female-only recruitment events to get women on the job. Law enforcement does this all the time. Other job fields do this. Could you imagine if there was only a male recruiting event? It would be done. But we have all these incentives to get women into certain work fields that are male-dominated, but they still choose not to get into them.
I can simplify it for you. Imagine you're on the 3rd floor of a building. You can't see anything, smoke everywhere. You feel heat all around, raging fire roaring all around you. You are sweating and you are terrified. When all of a sudden, the door flies open and you look up and through the smoke, you see a 100-pound woman.
Oh, I'm dead.
You know what I would prefer to see? I'd prefer to see a 6'5", ripped bodybuilder, glistening man looking down with perfect teeth saying, "I got you, babe." Yeah. I'd be like, call me whatever you want. Get me out of this
cradle me in your arms.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, right, they say this, right, glass ceiling, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is women don't even support. Who goes to WNBA games? Nobody. Who cares about female soccer? Nobody. Because it sucks and it's not interesting. So the reality is that genders tend to fall into what they naturally do. If you look at the job fields, right, that are more socially oriented, dealing with people, women tend to dominate those jobs. Jobs that are more laborious, that are more difficult, that kind of suck, men will tend to go into those jobs. Why? Because men understand that there's a burden of performance on us, and our value is determined by our career, how much money we earn, and we're not able to have a family and even meet a woman if we don't reach a certain status. But women don't have that same burden. So women are able to pursue their dreams. They're able to go into lower paying jobs because they want to do it because the burden of performance isn't on them.
But I'll add two things. One, with all due respect to women, it must be insufferable to deal with aggressive, high testosterone morons because there's more of them than the average male. And you're going to get more morons and more exceptional guys. This means that women do, like the mansplaining phenomenon, like okay, I totally get it. There's going to be some really dumb but arrogant guy because he's raging with testosterone, and he's going to be thinking he's so smart when he's dumb as a box of rocks. And you got to understand, if there are 60 average women, in this curve, and only 40 average men, that means there's a larger pool where smarter women are encountering dumb men who are saying stupid things to them that's condescending. So I totally get why that phenomenon exists. Right. Well, I'll wrap it with that, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's understandable, but it's funny because there's been polls on this, and we've asked girls on the show this: would you prefer to work for a man or for a woman? And overwhelmingly, they choose to work. For
there
a
was
man.
there was a really funny survey that found that when they asked CEOs of companies who would they rather hire, and they gave the no names on the resumes, it was the male resumes without them knowing it was male or female. The female CEOs also chose males. Yeah. It was just like, for whatever reason.
You can't rewire human nature. And I think that's I think what creates a lot of the chaos in this topic is that we are trying to reorient the way humans have behaved for centuries.
I want to add something too to what we're saying about when you talk about women deserve your book or whatever.
Yeah.
The point I was making with the glass floor is something that most guys probably do experience is that the average guy is going to get a job and they're going to get low pay. I can speak to experience growing up for me. My friend who was doing trade work for like $10 an hour, and this other girl, that was part of our friend group, made $200 a night for 4 hours as a server at a pizza restaurant. No skills required. The restaurant preferred to hire females as servers. Why? Yeah. Guys will spend more. They'll buy more drinks. They'll tip better. And then the dudes who apply are told, we don't do that. I'll get personal with it too. When I was working in Wrigleyville on Clark Street in Chicago, and I needed a job, I had been playing guitar on the street, outside of ball games, and in the subway. You got to get a permit to do it. But I was making pretty good, $17 to $30 an hour jamming. But I'm but I need something consistent. I can't just go and it's not the only thing I can do. Yeah. I got to get a job. Every single establishment said outright, I'm going to be honest with you, bro, we only hire women. Why would a bar with a bunch of drunk 30-year-old guys want a 21-year-old dude working in any capacity in this? Yeah. They were like, look, we want the guys to see the cute waitress and come in and buy from us. Yeah. Finally, I found one spot. I'm going around, I got resumes, I'm smart, and I'm like, bro, I will do any job. You want me to mop the floor? I'll mop the floor. You want me to clean the basement? You want me to stack crates? I'll stack crates. Finally, some guy goes, all right, dude, I'll tell you what. I feel for you, man. I'll pay you $50 a night to just clear the glasses from the tables and keep your head down. And I was like, shook his hand. Thank you so much. And then what do I see? Behind the counter with no training and no idea what a Manhattan even is, the women making $200-$300 a night. Yeah. Now I got no beef. I've always been very individualist and more libertarian. I get what I can get, and the world is the way it is. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here with a picket sign saying it's unfair that men hire women. No, I get it. Yeah. 50-year-old guy owns a bar. 30-year-old guys like eye candy. That's what they're going to do. Yep. That's the glass floor. But the thing is, if in our society, in places like this, and I'm not saying it's absolute, I'm saying it's in general, feminists don't know this. They don't experience this. There was I think it was OkCupid.
Are you saying because of how they look?
I'm saying that, let me break it down. Okay. There was a societal value analytical study done on how people treat each other and access to resources that found that young women are at what is described as social maximum.
Absolutely, yep.
And young men are described as social minimum.
Yeah, 100%.
Around 28 years old, it reaches the inflection point and the inversion. Yep. Where men who are now in their 30s have greater access to resources than women. As women age and become less desirable, again, not a dig on women. This is what the data was suggesting. Then their access to resources declines. So what happens is an 18-year-old woman who enters the workforce is considered maximum social value. You're not going to get a CEO job, but you are going to be able to go on OnlyFans and make $1 million a day if you're one of the cream of the crop exceptional women doing porn. Yep. Because that's the maximum social value for women. Men value sex. Young men almost will never encounter a circumstance where at a young age, they're going to be able to just be a millionaire by going on and being themselves. Yeah. They have to build something, work hard, which what you were saying. Yeah. Yep. Two things happen. For these women who have experienced in their life maximum social value, but are told all the time, boys have everything and they have nothing, they think the best is the worst. So what happens when they get older and their access to resources decline? Society is falling apart and something is wrong, and feminism needs to rise to restore women to their place. Young men who've experienced gutter trash, who are more likely to be homeless, more likely to be victims of violent crime, less likely to find good jobs starting out, slowly start to experience life is good. Now they're getting access to more resources. This is around 28 years old.
Yep.
And so it rolls off their back. I've been punched. I've been kicked.
Yep.
I've been beaten down. This lady's complaining. I don't care, lady. You can have whatever you want. And this is a component of the society.
It comes down to simply to this. Privilege is invisible to those that have it. And women don't understand that they're given their $1 million up front. I always use the differences of a woman is the equivalent to a trust fund baby, whereas a man is a self-made millionaire. And then what ends up happening is, and what I mean by that is that women get their value up front. When they turn 18 years old, they're effectively given access to $1 million, and it's up to them how they want to spend it. But then, they're 30 years old, single at the bar, buying their own drinks, and then they say, what the hell, where did all the good men go? I always say women basically mature once to start to buy their own drinks at the bar.
Okay? And it's I want to make sure it's clear. We're not saying absolutely, but there is a social tendency.
In general,
and I'm not saying it's a good thing either.
In general. This is all in general.
Again, women want quality until the Transformers transform into the sports. Then at that point, they don't want it no more too. But again,
break that down. What do you mean?
Transformers. I don't want to say the word on YouTube.
I
mean, of course,
It means as in men entering the female sports. And,
right.
Well, I think they're absolutely destroying them.
I think it's true. Women tend to be communitarian. I think is that what you said? Communitarian?
Yeah.
And men tend to be meritocratic.
Even in Miami itself, like a lot of girls, they come to Miami thinking, oh, you know what? I'm going to be taken care of. I'm going to be taken care of by sugar daddy, whatever, or just have a better job. But they realize it's not that easy. And then what do they turn to? OnlyFans. I can go online, sell my feet pictures, make 100K or 20K a month, and be chilling.
Women get mad at me when I say that women in general have more opportunities and live life on easy mode. They get mad when I say that, but I truly mean, if a girl's attractive or even mildly attractive, she's gonna have far more opportunities than a guy.
Today's sponsor is Be Naked. After 30, your testosterone drops by 2% every year. Yeah, that's right. While you're out here scrolling TikTok, your masculinity is packing his bags, but you don't have to be that guy. Step up with Naked Organs. This ain't no soy boy supplement. This is straight up 100% bison organs, liver, kidney, heart. The stuff men have been using for centuries to stay sharp, strong, and keep their testosterone sky high. Forget your vegan pea protein, quinoa, or whatever weak sauce they're pushing. This is Primal Power, packed with B12, iron, and zinc. Real nutrients that your body needs to stay jacked and ready to dominate. Go to BeNaked.com, use code FRESH, and get 15% off. Keep your masculinity in check, guys. Code word FRESH. BeNaked.com, use code FRESH for 15% off.
Support them, support us.